What's going on? Matt here with another video for you at Wild New England. Glad to be back. Glad to have you all with me. We are here in the booth today, doing a couple little runabouts on some gear. Gonna finish tying up some teasers, also to get ready for the regular salt season. I know we're still a little ways away, at least a couple weeks away from really kicking it off. But yeah, got a bunch more preparations still to do ahead of me, so making sure all my rods are put together and the what have yous. What I got for you right now isn't too much, but I do got a quick Taunton River report for you, and Barrington River, Warren River area as well. So not too much out there. We did do a couple of scouting trips, one in the Taunton River and two actually in the Taunton River, and one into the Barrington Warren River. And what we found was there was little to nothing out in the Warren Barrington River. When I say that, I mean not a literal speck of bait anywhere. Now, I'm sure back up in the 100 Acre Cove area, there's some, really small size class stripers, kind of hugging tight to those mud banks, looking for the heat as the tides go out, and those mud banks get a little more exposed, or as they come in, depending on where those tides are on the heat of the day there. So there is some fishing to be had, but, nothing we picked up for substantial bait or fish in general that would be really worthwhile to go out there. It's still super early, not super early, but it's still early for any of that, especially in that river. But we were surprised to see not a speck of bait in that river. Compared to the Taunton, we did, however, see a tremendous amount of bait. We didn't get a good eye on what the bait was, but I'm assuming a mixture of a lot of different things. We found some real large balls of bait holding up on the different bridges in the Taunton River. And it's been tough conditions. Not only are we dealing with it's still really cold. We finally had an actual real winter in New England, or at least an average winter for New England this year. So I think it's going to just, kind of slow things down a little bit, where mid-April probably is really going to be the start of the season, which normally for a lot of people is. Just for me, I usually get ahead of it on a few weeks or sometimes a month, and can pull fish out. I think it's just going to be a lot more difficult this year. As well as when we went to do one of the larger Taunton River scouts, it was after a heavy day of rainfall. So when you want to talk about water clarity, you couldn't even see a millimeter into the water. It was just, and I know the Taunton doesn't really get too clear and clean, but it was very, very tough. So visibility, all that stuff, we didn't even really take a swing at any fishing per se, just more reconnaissance, again, scouting, checking where the bait's holding up. And like I said, a lot of bait balls, a lot of baits starting to stack up and hold up in the Taunton, which is good because that kind of gives us our cheat and start to the season where we're really going to be looking for holdovers first. Will be probably up in the Taunton River. And freshwater fishing, aside from that, another quick little report. A lot of areas in the Cape are stocked now. A lot of southern Massachusetts, Rhode Island areas are beginning to get stocked as well. Obviously, Rhode Island is off limits to trout fishing still, but the Mass season's opened up, so plenty of areas that are stocked trout and Mass right on the line of Rhode Island that you can fish. Some Western Mass ponds and lakes as well have been starting to get stocked, and as the stocking, progresses, I'll be tracking it pretty aggressively. One of my favorite stock spots to fish for browns and rainbow trout in general, and if you're lucky, some brooks, is the Palmer River, and I'm waiting for that stocking to drop myself before I start really doing some river fishing. Which is a blast. All small spinners, flies, and all types of other little, jigs and stuff I'll throw at them. But, anyways, that's the quick fishing report. Not too much. If you're into shell fishing, I suggest you get out there and do that. It's the easiest fish to catch right now. And the water clarity is beautiful in a lot of spots. And with this colder water, it's always cleanest. And I find the shellfish this time of year happen to be the tastiest and, like I said, the cleanest you could possibly get them. So, kill some time, go out and do that. But, yeah, I figured this video, give you that little tidbit of fishing on my end. And, as we do get more reports in and get actual trips out there, we'll keep you guys, pretty well updated with what's going on there and the bites that we're staying on and where we're staying on them. So I figured this video, I'd give you guys a little, again, update on all that. But I figured we'd transfer to the boat. And I show you guys a little bit of the skiff we've been using and will be using this season very aggressively. One thing I'll say about this skiff is it has absolutely done wonders for us. Gets us into some of the best fishing I've ever done in my life. And that's included all the charter trips I've done and all the solo trips I've done and, trips out with buddies, with other boats. There's not much that I haven't gotten into with this little guy. Now, with that being said, before I bring you over to said boat, I will say, I spend a tremendous amount of time watching tides, watching what it is for weather, moon cycles, wind direction, and also the experience I have in the Narragansett Bay, knowing all of these different current changes and tide changes and how the tides affect certain pockets and certain points and all types of stuff like that. So, combining all that knowledge in when I make these trips makes these trips safe and worthwhile. And the key word is safe. On a little boat like this out in big water, it is not worth the risk to take and go out there thinking that you're just going to have a breeze of a time with no issues arising or any need of, safety procedures in place, stuff like that. So, and that's one thing I really advocate about is if you are going to go out to do this, which I do recommend, be smart about it. Do your research. Put in the work, when it comes to the weather reports. And I don't mean just go to one source. Go to multiple sources. Make sure overall you're being safe. Have not only one life preserver, but an extra preserver for yourself and whoever you're bringing with you. Having that throwable is key. One thing you'll notice on this boat, I put in a bilge pump wired in. But just because I have that, I've been out in the water where it's failed on me before. So I even have a backup bilge I can just automatically connect to my battery and let that baby rip, just in case we get into those situations. Again, this is a very small boat. I use it as a bay boat. It's a glorified bay boat. But, and I will say this boat has seen open water, meaning no land in sight, over a dozen trips. Now, that I don't recommend, but I will say over the years, gaining my comfortability with it and the experience, having all the safety features, I do safe sea as well. There's another one as well. There's a couple different ones in the bay that work, which is just basically like AAA for the boat. As much as I have a ton of buddies out there, riding around, fishing just like myself, having these things in place is really just, it's not only putting the mind at ease and giving you that peace so when you're out there you really don't have many worries, but it's really about being safe and not ending up in a situation, which I have been in, where it gets troublesome, and depending on how you are, who you are, and what stress levels you're used to in situations like that, it could make or break you. This isn't a place where you can really gamble. You have to know. You have to know. And yes, you can take swings, miss, and, hit a tide wrong and, go through some rough water but make it, and it's no problem. But there will be those days where the weathermen aren't accurate. Or, they do the best they can, and, Mother Nature's a funny thing. It's something I've gotten used to while I'm out there, noticing signs and weather patterns just because the forecast is what it is, watching signs and weather patterns to see, while we're out there, it may drastically change. It does happens all the time, when you're out there and the tide's an hour early, an hour late, wind direction is 5 miles an hour more or slightly in a different direction. All these are variables you got to focus on. So with that being said, be careful if you're out on a small boat in the bay, especially an aluminum skiff craft like this. It is a V-hull, but that don't mean much when you have wakes coming over the bow of the boat. So, yeah, be careful, have fun, do highly recommend, but do it right, do it safe, do it smart. So, without any further ado, let me take you guys over to the skiff. All right, so give you guys a little, yeah, I know I shaved my mustache. It'll be coming back soon enough. Not sure how I feel about it right now, but we're, we got no choice. It's gone. So this is my booth, quick little shot of the booth. Got all my goods. Yeah, I'll take you off of me because you don't need to see that. But yeah, all my bins, everything's, I am kind of sloppy processing through some old lures and stuff. Back wall, got my flag, got a very meaningful striper catch to me off a lure my buddy gifted me, finding on a walk along the beach, which was really cool. Got the old wharf sign in the backdrop. Nice, beautiful gift from Jen. Got some retired flags. This one I got to patch up. My old American, it is retired. It ain't going to be going back on the boat, but I want to do some skirt patching. Wish I took it off the boat before it got really torn up. This flag is one of my more sentimentals that I used to fly, the original with Buster. Obviously, it got beat up pretty good, but it'll never fly again anyways. So, and then this is a nice personal striper catch. Honestly, that's probably one of the girls I'm trying to beat this year. There were many others last year as well where we caught some sizable. Here's Darla, another decent sized one. But yeah, that's the booth. Above us is the rod section. Nothing crazy right now. A lot of my stuff is down and actually hooked up, ready for the season. Got the old puffer up there. Got a freezer set up over here and my fridge set up. My fridge setup is bait. Got some from our last clam trip, some shucked clams, clam bellies. These are going to be fresh bait and kind of a secret weapon early on for some stripers and some possibly, white perch. Maybe some winter flounder too, coming in to the early season once it starts up. Obviously, April 1st is when we really kick it off. Tautog opens up, a.k.a. Blackfish, or a.k.a. Tautog, however you look at that. Striper, I believe winter flounder, and Tautog. Yeah, I said Tautog, obviously. So, those are all going to be, clam options, lure options, stuff like that. But the bait works really good early season. Got a couple hook hang-ups up there for some backpacks, dartboard, extra fun. Little fish, a little portrait right there. Nothing crazy. That's the booth. I'm not going to show you the other half of the fishing man cave because that's all business work related stuff and you don't need to see none of that. So coming out of the fish room, we'll spin you guys around and here is the baby. On the back we have our Honda 20 horsepower. I bought this baby girl from State Line Boats in Warren, and they are phenomenal over there. Mike does a really good job and just makes you feel right at home. So this was a no-brainer purchase for me. I didn't even have to really think about it. He set me up with exactly what I wanted and needed, and he got it for me. And key for me was making sure I had the pull start but also electric start. And one thing I added in, because I really found it hard to drive straight into beaches, and beach and go shell fishing and do the easy stuff or get in shallow water. And I don't have a jack plate on this thing. It's a 14-foot skiff, so didn't want to go too crazy. I figured this motor was pretty crazy enough. But what I did get was, oh yeah, That right there, that feature alone, not only is going to save your back, your arms, it's just a giant peace of mind when it comes to, you know, being able to go into shallow waters and fish, or, you know, do what we do, which is, you know, beach the boat a lot of times, go shell fishing, island adventure and stuff like that. My dog, when I do take him out, only gives me about, you know, which I can't complain, but on a real day of fishing, 2 hours of fishing straight before he needs a break on the beach or a beach walk somewhere. So luckily there's a lot of islands all over the place, and he can get that pretty easily. But yeah, so back to the boat. And back here, pretty simple, straightforward. I got a base platform here, you know, you could throw stuff on top of. I got my swivel seat right here, main captain's chair. Over here, you'll see I got my panel. So front light, rear light. Rear light is right here. Front light is right here, all wired in, all ready to go, you know, like a legitimate boat setup. Also, we have on the third switch is the bilge pump. You can hear that baby ripping. And fourth switch, you got a horn, which, mind your ears. She works pretty good. One of my favorite features on the boat. So, yep, this is the main hub back here, captain's chair. We swivel around, got the new American flag, yes, made in America, flying in the back, pumped about her being on there. And then in the back, pretty simple setup. We have a back tray that goes along here. You know, I could put my plugs over there, hooks, lures, I'll clip off quickly, throw them in the back lip, deal with them later, so I don't put them away and, you know, musty up all my stuff in my bins. Got my gas can here. This motor, by the way, basically sips and runs on air, I swear. We barely use any fuel. It's absolutely crazy. We'll do a motor review too for you guys later on what the pros and cons, if there are any, any cons with this motor. I'm really gonna have to think about it. This thing has been absolutely phenomenal. In the back here, we got, oops, sorry about that. We got our bilge pump setup that I made. Comes up off of here, line comes out. And what I did was I cupped it right off the back. So that just shoots water out as it fills up in my little catch in the back there. So coming forward on the boat, you'll see, now this is base pack. This has everything that stays on the boat before I, you know, take it down, rinse it, and bring it back from a trip. This is all stuff that stays on. And actually, once we get the season going, you'll notice a lot of this more stuff will be added and stay on the boat because we get a little lazier as the season goes on, and it's just what it is. But yeah, back to it. We got our throwable right here, flotation device. We got our fold-up striper or fish net, and you know, for everything. Yep, right there. We got our safety kit inside here, which I always keep on the boat. This has got our med kit. You know, tons of bandage supplies just in case severe hook, fishes, anything, cut, you know, whatever. It's got other stuff in there too for safety, gloves, eyewear, sunscreen, bug spray, you know, a bunch of other little things. Moving up, obviously, we have this side over here we don't use to cross. This kind of stays packed with gear. And on the other side, we use that to traverse back and forth from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. Obviously, not a big space to go, but adding this cooler seat, I wanted to make it as safe as possible. And this has been one of the coolest adds on a little boat like this. So we can use this as dry storage, we can use it as a cooler, we can use it as a live well, you know, whatever we want. We got battery powered aerators we can put in there. One thing that's cool about this thing too is it switches just like that. I love that feature because I sometimes I'll just be out in the bay sitting and just soaking up the sun, and putting that thing back this way is nice. Too, if I got some lines off the back of the boat and I'm just waiting for them to go off, you know, depends on who's with me too. But yeah, this cooler seat's really awesome. And then obviously, originally I put the cooler facing forward, and we ran into issues with when I would be driving and taking this boat to the water, the actual seat would fold up on me, so I ended up turning it around, reversing it, and I made this easy. So it's not a clamp-in system, but the way I bolted it in, it can easily be removed off the boat. Like if I needed to use the boat for a giant flat deck or something, it has that capability. Now in the front, I have the flat deck here, all carpeted, nice, and we have a little hatch here. Right now, you're going to see there's a bunch of life vests, buoys, and stuff like that in there. This is just the stuff that stays on the boat. This was a sweet ad. It's not completely dry storage, but you know, if you're putting stuff in there away properly, then you should have no issues with it. Oh, don't want you guys seeing the decal numbers. One thing I will show you though is this cool sticker. So as we get going forward, I am going to be coming out with my own stickers and stuff like that for the channel. You know, maybe do some giveaway stuff and you know, nothing crazy, but trying to spice it up a little bit for you guys. You know, I may do some lure giveaways, stuff like that. Who knows? You know, I got a few future plans, just trying to, you know, be slow with everything and not really rush anything, but I got some stuff in future plans in the works for you guys already. I have a really good buddy of mine that does all my decal work for my company, so I want to actually have him do a lot of the sticker design, and I'm going to go seek out some local artists that I already have had do some work for me, or some gifts for me that are just phenomenal, hand drawers, and I'm going to have them create some stuff, so really unique stickers and some cool stuff like that. But yeah, nonetheless, back to the boat. Up front here, we got my little safety attachment, you know, normal clip roll system. You know, and then you'll see over here, the spare tire always gets tossed off into the truck, but you'll see I have 2 anchors. So I have not doubled down yet and gotten a trolling motor, which is in the works and the plans. You know, maybe not for this boat, but maybe so. We'll kind of play that one out and see as we go forward here. But right now, the 2 anchors is a must. I will lose 1, if not 2, if not 3 of these this year. I try to do the best I can, and yes, I have local diving buddies, so when I do lose them, I do try and send in some guys to get them for me. I have a buddy that's got 40 of these anchors because he dives all the time and recovers them, you know, out of the water and structure areas and points. But yeah, I will ask for calling a favor once in a while if I need to see a couple of these back. And yeah, so moving towards the back of the boat, all the side back to the side. I told you about we use this as a walk-in access. Always have a point of contact on the cooler seat, you know, when you're traversing around the boat, to be as safe as possible. And yeah, here is the latest addition to this boat, and this thing is been nuts. And we are going to be doing a review video on this, probably posted not far after this video itself, on how we went through, installed this thing, and then also how we've been liking using it. It's just absolutely been, oh my God, I don't even like looking at it. It just looks too good to be in my hands. But yeah, we'll go through a video on that, show you guys some live footage, you know, what we picked up on that Taunton River report with bait, what it kind of looks like. Obviously, we're going to be getting used to working the kinks out of this thing until the fishing really happens. I can't confirm a lot of the marks we're seeing, so I'll get a little more in depth with that, you know, as the time continues. But yeah, I hope you all having a great day. Stay positive. You know, try to. Fishing's here, you know. Yeah, the good weather's here, at least here in New England. It's on the doorstep. So, you know, get out, go for a walk. You know, if you're into fishing, take a couple casts. If you're not, just enjoy the sunshine. You know, really get out. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You know, try to focus on the what's in front of you. You know, and just try to keep a positive mind frame, something that I can preach, something I don't master myself, but something I'm always working on. Too, it's one of those things. I'm super excited about the season. A lot of positives with it, and as well, I try each year. I try to get somebody new out to do what I'm doing, so they can their minds can be blown a little bit, because it is truly crazy. I say blessed, blessing, blessed. You'll hear it all the time. This is truly a blessing to be able to do this, even next week when I work, we're going to pick the best weather day, get out a little earlier, go shell fishing, get 4 clam boils for a family of mine, friends of mine, and it's something like that, to be able to go out in the bay with a little boat like this, do what I do, is remarkable, and it is a blessing. It is something I'll never take for granted. I'll always be super appreciative for, and also, as much as I want to keep this to myself, I getting people on it, opening their minds up to what the possibilities are if you just get up and go outside and enjoy the outdoors and, enjoy all the gifts that were put before us. It is truly remarkable. So, I won't jib-jab you guys any longer. Another American flag for you. There it is. Oh, yeah. God bless America is all I got to say. But, again, hope you're all having great days. And looking forward to seeing you next time. Take care.